My name's Cody King. This is my channel, Cody King's World. I'm going to show you my homemade sifter for worms. It's July 6th, 2024, and I'm about to sift my first bin of worms. Everything is ready to go. I have the vibrator motor here. Came in the mail yesterday, so I got that all set up last night. I did do one little trial run, and everything works pretty good for the most part. I did have an issue with the rope coming loose, so I actually used metal wiring that came around the hardware cloth. I just used that with the hooks. I added weed barrier cloth on the bottom here, and then I just put a hole where in the center, and that way I can aim where I'm putting the worm castings at, so it should fall right in the center of the bin. So I have a worm casting bin. I got the cocoon bin right here, and then down here will be like where the worms and the bigger stuff will fall into the bin in the very end there. And a lot of that stuff will be the bedding that I'll use for the next round of the breeding worms here. And I am going to use the breeding buckets. And I have to give a shout out to Captain Matt. I watched his video probably like 6 times now on the breeding buckets, just to make sure I'm doing it all right. But that guy's loaded with information and very knowledgeable, super just cool personality, fun guy to watch. So anyways, he's what inspired me to do all this. So I'm gonna give you a quick look at what this all looks like, and then we're gonna run the sifter and see how it works. So my on and off switch came in the mail yesterday. That was the last thing I was waiting on, and I wasn't really 100% sure how to set it up, and did a little bit of research, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I got it all set up right. I mean, it's working, so no fires. So let's turn that on. Now it's vibrating. Probably really loud in the video. Turn that back off. I did have rope that was tied on here, and it was falling off, so I took it off and I used this metal wiring that came with the hardware cloth that was wrapped around it, and then put a hook on it. I cut them all at 8 inches, and the ones on the bottom I cut at 10 inches, just so it has a little more of a fall there. And I actually added another hook to it just to kind of make it drop a little bit more. Same on that side. So everything looks pretty even. There's a little tilt to the right there, looks like, actually, but that'll be alright. But then I also added this weed barrier cloth on the bottom, and put a little hole in the center of it, and that way all the castings fall right in the bin. They're not going everywhere. I did that to each one. So the first one here is a 3/32 screen. You got the worm castings there. The next one is an 1/8 inch. And that should get the cocoons. And the next one's 1/4 inch, and that's just to get any bedding, or maybe even the worms will fall down into that. And in the very end is just anything else that's big, and like pieces of mulch. Maybe you might have some rocks in there. They weren't supposed to be in there, but they got in there. But anyways, I'm just going to turn this thing on now. So far, it seemed like it was working really good. But I noticed whenever I added the second scoop, it was a little bit too much weight, and vibration just wasn't enough to really do a whole lot. And I had that problem throughout the day. So I tried to just do one scoop, sift it all the way down, and then do another scoop. I'm gonna add another hook, make a little of a steeper incline. So I added a hook, and then this happened. All right, now I'm ready to go. I got chains on there. After I added the chains, everything was smooth sailing. Everything was just working great. The only other kind of problem I had was with the cloth on the bottom, just kind of coming undone there. I just restapled it, and from there on, it worked out really good. That was a piece of carrot that sit in the bin and it just dried up. If you are going to use carrots or any root vegetables, I would recommend cutting them up, or if you have a food processor, to use that, and really to use that with any like food scraps would be a plus. But I do find when you have like a cucumber or something more wet, like a banana, you put it in there, they go crazy for it. But with the root vegetables, they seem to just sit there and they'll just dry up and do nothing with it. If you do this on a hot day, make sure you have a canopy, because if I didn't have this canopy above me, these worms would dry out so quick and it would be a disaster. You can hear the vibration slow down there when I added that last scoop. So I'm kind of thinking about maybe buying a bigger motor for this thing, and maybe even just keep the other one though, and just move it to the lower side of the sifter there, and then have a something stronger on the top. Also, it seemed like a lot of stuff would pile up, going from the 1/8 screen to the 1/4 inch screen, and it kind of worked out in my favor though, because all the worms would kind of pile up there, and I could just scoop them up, and I used like a broom and a dustpan, and just scoop them up on that and put them into the bucket. A little handheld broom is a great tool to have while you're doing this. As you can see, the screen is getting a little bit clogged up, and having the broom, I can just clear it out. Works really nice. A lot of the castings, they get stuck in the cloth, and I mean, I just had to shake it or smack it around a couple of times, and all the castings would fall into the bin. So it is really beneficial to still have that cloth there. If not, they would just been getting flung around everywhere, and it would just be a big mess. So this is what I'm scooping out. This is the original worm bin, and then you have the castings, the cocoons, and then the worms, and some leftover bedding material right here. 2 gallons of worm castings. And that's African night crawlers. I'm gonna do the red wigglers tomorrow. But I'm gonna store this inside the house, keep it in a nice, cool area. But microbial life will die if you get it too hot. If you leave it outside in the sun, so that's why I'm gonna bring it in the house. And probably put the lid on it too. And I'm gonna get a couple squirts of water here too. Now I'm gonna bring that in the house.
Okay, that is it for this video. But if you want to see more on how I start my own breeding buckets, be sure to subscribe. Also, if you want to see how I built the sifter, I'm going to have a video on that, so it'll probably be up along with this video, so be sure to check that out. And then also, I've been making my own kombucha. I've also started a mealworm farm, and also made a biopod, and it's a little system to collect black soldier flies and to collect their larvae, and you can feed those to your chickens. So I got a lot of different videos coming out here soon. So if you're into all this, please subscribe, and thank you for watching. Have yourself a great day.